Hello, welcome to TNT. Today looking at Thailand's borders. 4 of them in the news again for all the wrong reasons. Whilst even the issues at the Thai-Cambodian border will eventually blow over, Thailand's at the epicentre of Southeast Asia's emerging economies, some of them democratic to a greater or lesser extent, and always difficult to predict. And Thailand's always had 4 reasons to keep looking over its shoulders. Let's talk about the dots and dashes that are Thailand's borders. Thailand's borders are far more than just lines on a map. They're front lines for security, trade, sometimes trouble. With 4 neighbours, Malaysia, Myanmar, Laos and Cambodia, each frontier has its own unique challenges, often spilling over into politics and everyday life in Thailand. As usual, it's the people living along Thailand's fringes that get caught up in the skirmishes, their daily lives thrown into random confusion whenever an issue flares up and down the long stretches of unguarded borders. Let's start with the Thai-Malaysia border. It stretches over 650 kilometres and it's long been plagued by a simmering insurgency in Thailand's deep south. For nearly 2 decades, separatist groups in Yala, Pattani and Narathiwat have waged a low-intensity conflict seeking autonomy from Bangkok. Despite countless peace talks and promises, the violence continues. Bombings, shootings and ambushes, they're a grim reminder that the conflict is far from resolved. Malaysia's involvement is delicate. Kuala Lumpur has often played mediator, but the cross-border flows of weapons and fighters remains a thorny issue. Well, now to the west and the northwest, Thailand's border with Myanmar. This frontier has been in turmoil ever since 2021, the military coup that reignited civil war. Ethnic armed groups and anti-junta militias frequently clash near the Thai border, and the violence often spills into Thailand, with artillery shells landing in border villages and refugees pouring across the river. Thailand's military walks a tightrope, maintaining relations with Myanmar's junta while also grappling with humanitarian crises. Now, adding to this complexity is the booming trade in illicit drugs from Myanmar's Shan state, with methamphetamine flooding across the border in record quantities. Frequently, police interventions often end up finding stashes of pills hidden in trucks, accounted in the millions, all on their way across the Burmese border into Thailand and then headed for borders beyond. And despite the 7-figure seizures, the meth that's intercepted is still a tiny fraction of that which is able to get through undetected. East and northeast, the Laos border might seem quieter on the surface, but it's a key part of the infamous Golden Triangle, once the world's epicentre of opium production. Well, today the drug trade has shifted towards synthetics, especially meth pills and crystal meth, trafficked through Laos into Thailand and beyond. And the Mekong River is both a lifeline and loophole, a major route for smugglers. More recently, the Thai-Laos border has become notorious for shady scam centres operating just across the river, where trafficked workers are forced into online fraud operations, sometimes under the cover of glitzy casinos. Thai authorities have stepped up raids and cooperation with Laos, but the problem remains widespread. Finally, the Thai-Cambodia border is perhaps best known for its occasional flare-ups over disputed temples and territory. But more recently, it's also become part of the regional crackdown on the flourishing scam centres, particularly in the casino towns in and around Phoi Phet. Tens of thousands of workers, many trafficked under false promises of employment, have been rescued from compounds where they were forced into running online scams targeting victims worldwide in a thriving billion-dollar industry. The border remains a hotspot for crime, trafficking and illegal gambling. And there are plenty of people that identify the current border disputes as directly connected to the crackdowns on highly lucrative scam centres in Cambodia. As they say, follow the money. So whether it's insurgency in the south, civil war to the west, drug routes through the Golden Triangle, or scam centres to the east, Thailand's borders are under constant pressure. Each border tells a story of political challenges, crime, displaced civilians, or occasional outbreaks of violence, all putting pressure on the kingdom and its own stability. Luckily, most of these skirmishes are having little impact on visiting foreigners or tourists, but greater reporting and local social media now make neat dotted lines become higher profile attacks on Thailand's reputation as the land of smiles. Well, that's a quick look at Thailand's nearly 5,000 kilometres of mostly jungle and river borders. Please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.